Michelle at Sun and Ski, and I'm interviewing Stefan Rothe of Rothe Training. He's going to talk a little bit about training for cycling in the off-season. So we're lucky to have him here. Stefan, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Stefan Rothe. I am a cycling coach. I train athletes, specifically cyclists, in order to have some successful season in cycling racing mainly. But I also coach regular people who like to get ready for things like MS 150 or a race like Colorado 100. And a little bit about myself. I went to school at Midwestern State University, got my degrees in exercise physiology. Along with that, I also have used a cycling coaching license, which enables me to coach all type of athletes who like to become a better cyclist. And I've been around in the cycling community in Texas for about 5 years. Before that, I was a cyclist myself, which I still am, in Germany. And I went to school in Germany for 1 year, go to college in the same area, sports science. And yeah, I'm a full-time coach here in Austin, Texas. Work for my own business called Rothe Training, and I offer coaching services, performance testing, and bike tips.
Awesome, very cool. So it's November, and I know in November we've got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas. How can cyclists remain motivated through the off-season?
That's a really good question. What I usually tell my clients, or cyclists in general, in terms of being motivated throughout phases where you don't compete, which is a lot of times not easy for cyclists. You just need to, for example, you can write down your goals. What do you want to achieve for next year? That can be a certain time for individual time trial or certain mileage you like to compete in. Or it can be a certain performance you want to achieve in terms of power, how many watts you want to be able to execute on your time trial bike, for example. If you write it down and pin it somewhere on the refrigerator, or if you put it somewhere where you see it every day, it gives you a lot of motivation and stay focused throughout the season and the off season especially. And for holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, you can enjoy your holidays and you can enjoy Thanksgiving associated food with it, but you just have to remind yourself, why are you doing that and what do you want to achieve next year. That way you shouldn't run into any trouble.
Very cool. So you've been in a very competitive cycling scene. Like, how have you prepared, and how have you seen very competitive cyclists prepare during this off season?
A lot of times people have two approaches. There's one group who says take 3-4 weeks off completely with any kind of exercise, just let yourself go, enjoy the off-season time where you have 3-4 weeks where you don't do any physical activity, you recharge your batteries and you do things you usually don't do in off-season, and you don't care about so much what you eat, how much you eat, how much you train, how much you shouldn't train. That's like one approach, taking off completely for like 4 weeks span. Another approach which I favor more is go ride your bike if you feel like it. Other than that, you can go run. People like to go inline skating. People like to go swimming. You can go jog on Town Lake in Austin. It's perfect. But nevertheless, once you're in your off season, you should still focus on what's coming up next year. So you need to slowly get back into things after taking a little small break from physical activity, because there's training's always overload and recovery, and if you don't give your body enough rest after a long season from February to October, you might run into problems like overtraining or lack of sleep and severe fatigue.
Approximately what month do you see the more competitive cycling and you really get back into it?
Pretty much that time of the year right now, beginning of November, is usually where competitive athletes, no matter if it's a Cat 1 cyclist who holds a license or recreational rider who just wants to get ready for an event in February, March. Usually beginning of November is where you get back into real training because in a state like Texas, cycling races start in February and you need 2 to 3 months to get ready for those events. So beginning of February is when it starts and you want to be ahead of the game about 3 months. So.
Cool. All right, so if somebody wanted to start training in the off season, are there any groups or resources that you would recommend for more competitive cyclists? And what would you recommend for somebody just sort of, more recreational or just getting into it?
For people who are just getting into it, I think the social aspect of riding is really important. So I would definitely recommend to do on the weekend, for example, in Austin, you have the choice between 4 to 5 group rides from either various bike shops or coffee shops ride, what we call it. And you can go there on the weekend on Saturday or Sunday morning at 8 or 9 o'clock. And you can ride with people your ability level 2 hours to 4 hours if you like to. And I think that's really good. That's a really good way to get into the sport. Now, if you're more specific and you are looking for detailed, specific training and more intensities, then I recommend you have either a coach or you have a select group of people you ride with who are your ability level and who compete too in order to get you ready for next year. So the more competitive the athlete is, the more specific he needs to be in his training in order to be successful in the next season, which can lead to a lot of riding by yourself because every single individual has its own physical stats and physical ability. So group training to a certain degree is good, especially for beginner athletes, but if it gets to a competitive level and you need to work on your strengths and on your weaknesses, then solitary training is more recommended in my opinion.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much, Stefan. And what is your URL? Where can people find you online?
You can find me at rothtraining.com. That's all with THE training.com.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right.